Welcome back to the Empowered Woman, Badass and Unfiltered podcast. Your host, Olivia, here. And today I am talking about holding space for your emotions. Just to give you a little overview of what you're going to be hearing in this podcast is what exactly I mean by holding space for your emotions, why it's important to even do this, a few statistics on stress, because that's what happens when we don't hold space for our emotions. A little personal story, because I like to just share the authentic truth with you guys, and the things that you can do, and they're all really simple to do. Is it easy to remember to do them in the moment? No, but these are all simple things. Hopefully you'll remember to do, and a few questions that I ask myself that you may want to ask yourself the next time that you find yourself being in a state of heavy emotions. So what I mean by holding space for your emotions is not suppressing them, not holding them down, not ignoring them, but actually allowing yourself to feel the emotion and then let it go. Honor the time that you have to feel it and then let it go. There's a whole process, but it's so important to hold that space and dig deeper and figure it out and find the growth in the moment. You can start doing that. In the beginning, it's going to be pretty difficult, but the more and more you do it, the easier it's going to be. And you're going to start seeing so many benefits from it. One of my really good friends, Jessica, told me in 2020, she's like, do you talk through your emotions? Like, no, talk through your anger. Because I used to, oh my goodness, I used to get so mad because I would bottle stuff up so tight. And then I would be like, I just want to break things. That's why those shadow rooms are so popular now. If you haven't heard of one and you want to go to one, I haven't been to one yet, but I think it would be kind of cool to like break some things and not have to clean up after it. Granted, I'm not that angry yet, and I haven't been in a long time, which is it's kind of interesting. The benefit that has come from talking through my anger, but also holding space for the anger that you feel so it doesn't get bottled up. Because when we bottle up our anger, our stress, our worry, our anxieties, all of that stuff, we tend to stress, and we hold that stress in our bodies, and we get sick from that. And as you know, if this is the first time listening to me, I will be honest with you, I am not one for toxic positivity. That will seriously ruin your life if you are just always being positive. Ain't no way everybody always positive. We are human. Like, we have real emotions. Like, what? How you always positive? So you ain't never had a tragedy in your life. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go on this whole entire rant, but the people that are always positive, that talk about always being positive, are so inauthentic, but they're also the ones that scream like authentically. Like, it's so cliche. It's so the aesthetic. And I'm just like, it's annoying. And rant. See, there I go, holding space for my emotions. Anyway, just a little statistic. And I found this statistic from the NASD, which is .org, National AG Safety Database. And this is a study from the Clemson Extension. So, it's pretty legit. What they said was, in addition, medical research estimates as much as 90% of illnesses and disease is stress related. Stress can interfere with your physical functioning and bodily processes. High blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, and heart disease have been linked to stress factors. Other stress-related ailments include ulcers, allergies, asthma, and migraine headaches. Most health professionals agree stress can be a contributing factor in making existing medical problems worse. So for your health, it's important to hold space for your emotions. So not just for your mental health, physical health, like all of that, all of this for your health. If you're really trying to be a better person and live a longer life and and be able to really function, managing your stress is extremely important. And that comes along with holding space for your emotions. And again, these are simple things, but in the moment, if you're used to doing something else, it might not be so simple. And what we do, these are some examples of the things that we do instead. And I see this among so many people, and I was guilty of this in the past too, is we do a lot of numbing. A lot of numbing. And when I talk about numbing, I mean overworking. We increase our distractions. Like we might be getting on our phone. We might just be falling into all of the other things that we have going on. Busyness, substances, alcohol, weed, whatever else, other Percocet, Molly, whatever there is that you're doing to numb the issue, but the issue don't really go away and you just hold on to it and suppress it. And then you find yourself getting burnt out and stuff like that. That's one of the things that we do. It's a numbing and an avoidance. We do a lot of avoidance. We bottle these things up and hold on to them, and then we blow up, or then we deal with chronic stress that we've ignored. And I am saying this as a person that's guilty of this and realizing how much more that I need to hold space for my own emotions. So I'm not coming for anybody. I'm more so being here like, hey, I do this too. This is how we can do this better together. Okay. So with my recent discovery of the fact that I needed to hold space for the emotions I was feeling and like really dig through, recently it was my father's death anniversary. And I talked about this in another podcast. But I was just thinking about all the things, but I allowed myself to feel those emotions that I needed to feel and then let them go. I will let you know, I went to God. I go to God a lot. I go to God a lot with a lot of things. And people probably are like, why do you talk to yourself so much? I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to God. I'm talking to God. But, and I mean, I share my frustrations with him. I sit down and I have those open, honest conversations with God. So I can get those things off my chest instead of just bottling them up. I say them out loud if I have to. I prefer to say these things out loud and really have the conversation and let it go. There's a release that comes with saying the things that are stressing you and then asking yourself a few questions. But before that, we're gonna pause and we're gonna breathe. We're gonna get into the current, where we are in the current moment. So yes, after you felt your emotions, you calm down. If you're angry or you're sad or whatever, but you allow yourself that time. You talk it out. You do what works for you. Maybe you go on a walk. Maybe you work out. Maybe you talk to a friend and get it off your chest. Maybe whatever you got to do. Now, after that, you take a pause before reacting. Pause, definitely, before reacting in certain situations. Every situation is different with our emotions. There's so many things that go on. So, but there pausing may need to really take place, and breathing and becoming present in the current moment. Because now the thing that has upset you has become something that is a part of the past, and you're now in the current moment. And you can now do some reflection work and doing some self-reflection. And a few of the questions that you can ask yourself is this mine or somebody else's? So I know, speaking for myself, I'm an empath. I feel a lot of other people's emotions, and sometimes I take too many things on. I haven't been doing that much recently, but I know from experience that I have done that. So it's nice to be like, okay, is this mine or is this somebody else's? Okay. Another one. Do I know all of the facts? So if you're hearing something that has upset you based off of hearsay and conjecture, be mindful of what the other person's motive may be in telling you this. Always think about what the other person's ulterior motive is when you hear something about somebody else that upsets you or makes you sad, or if it's not from the source. That is something to keep in mind. And also, if an incident happened and you don't know all of the information, it might look like a certain situation, but you don't understand why that other person did it. And you may be getting in your head too much. We do that. I do that. I get in my head entirely too much. And I'll be like, well, why did they pause, take a break, hold on. Do I know all the facts? Do I know why they did this? Have I talked to the source? Have I talked to the person? Also, number 3, does this really deserve this reaction? Now, while you've already now honored your emotions and felt them, you've already done asked these other couple questions, like, is this mine? Do I know all the facts? This is a good question to ask afterwards. Does it really deserve this type of reaction? Do I really need to be acting up? This is so hard to do when you are in a marriage and your spouse isn't doing what you need them to do, or blah blah blah. You know all the things that are related to relationships and those close bonds. Pause in those situations as well. Just I just got that idea. Sorry that's a little off track, but yeah, pause before you react, especially with your significant others that you got to live with, because it's so easy to focus on what they do wrong. Start focusing on what they do right. The majority of us do not focus on what the people in our lives that are closest to us do right. We're always pointing out their flaws. And I know that's real hard to do when you're mad with them. But with practice and patience, it helps. The other question I ask myself is, why am I so insert this emotion about this? Why am I so sad about this? Why am I so hurt about this? This is that like deep work, the childhood trauma related things, even though it might not seem like it deserved the reaction it got, well, why did it? Like, what was it about this that I'm really fearing? What is the real source of this emotion that I am experiencing right now? And how do I heal that? Most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time they stem from traumas. And many of those times, those traumas stem from childhood traumas. And there's a lot of deep work and reflection you can do. This is why it's so important to journal. This is why it's so important to, go to therapy, go to counseling and do the personal work. Or at least, if you can't afford therapy or something like that, at least look at videos where therapists are talking about these things, or hey, you're here listening to this. So at least just start with journaling. At least start writing this stuff out and seeing where you've been hurt in the past and where the lie was in the past that you believe that you were unworthy and undeserving, or whatever it may be. And let yourself know that you are those things. You are loved, you are taken care of, you are okay, everything is fine in the moment, and you're going to grow stronger from this. Even when it feels like the world is crashing around you, you're going to be such a badass after you get through this, because your testimony is going to be something else. Those are good things. I definitely tell myself sometimes, man, I'm gonna have a crazy testimony when I get through this. So I hope that you found value in this. I hope that you got some nuggets from this. If you did, let me know. I love getting emails and like DMs or anything. So definitely let me know if you found any value in this. And as always, go out and be a badass.